Hi, my name is J.K. Delapp. Appreciate you joining me again. I'm here to show you a little bit more what you can do with Mermade's new electric heater. Again, I'm a friend of Kat's. More than happy to help her out by showing you a couple things that you can do. So, in the first video, you've seen the heater. This is the temperature regulator, and then it's going to plug in, and you can control the temperature here, and then you control whether it is heating or not here. So, one of the things that you can do, you can also pick up the battery pack. You'll notice when you plug this in, it'll show up red when the batteries need to be charged and green when the batteries are charged. Now, if you're using a battery as opposed to the plug-in, the battery does not use the temperature regulator. So you need to be very cautious here because you're only going to do short bursts, maybe 15 to 20 seconds, maybe as much as 30 at a time. You're going to take a battery, and you take the positive end, which is the end with the nub. You're going to put that inside, and you're going to touch that to the element. And that's going to cause it to heat. And then remember, only 10 or 15 seconds before you separate that out, just a little bit, so you can see it's a difference of on, off. And that's how you use the battery. Very simple. Even just heating it, you can smell a little bit of heat coming off the element. Very nice. So, the other thing I want to show you is how you can use this tool for heating agarwood. We're going to go back to our regulatory option. We're going to plug this in. Now, one thing I want to mention, when you're heating good agarwood, you don't necessarily need a filament. Sorry, you don't necessarily need the piece of aluminum here. You can heat directly on the filament. Now you can see I've done that, and there are a few black spots on the filament. That's where the resin oozes out. Really high quality agarwood will have some resin that comes out. You can see here too on the aluminum that there is just a little black touch. If you choose not to use this when using agarwood, you can take the brush and just brush this off. You might even take a Q-tip dipped in a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that will help get that off. Me personally, I like using this because it helps preserve the money that I spend on this wonderful tool, but it's not necessary. The other thing I want to mention here is the size. So, agarwood. These are agarwood chips. These are decent sized ones. They can get much bigger. They can also be much smaller. The piece that you want to use, now you see this big piece? See this little slice? This big piece will yield a whole bunch of little slices like this. Now, I recommend a Kodo style, which is a Japanese style, and you use just a rice grain, which means that this little piece should break evenly into two. There we go. And I'm going to use about a rice grain size piece of agarwood. I am going to place that right on the foil that's on the filament. You can see it in there. And then we're just very gently, got to plug that in, make sure it's there, heat it. And again, you just press the button. Start it on a low, all the way down. You don't want to burn it too quickly. Each wood has its own personality, and you can see I'm talking there, and it just went and blew off. So maybe don't talk when you're doing this. But you catch the drift. All it takes is a little rice grain size, plus or minus a piece of foil, and you can put it on there. If you're using the battery, maybe only 15 to 20 seconds, maybe as much as 30, because you don't have the temperature regulator, it's going to burn a little bit hotter than it would if you were using it on its own. Make sure that you're paying attention because you're spending good money on these really high quality materials. You don't want it to scorch too quickly, and every material behaves a little bit differently. So you want to start on low, and then you'll see how warm you can get it before that resin really starts to bubble, and then you push it a little too far and it starts to smoke. Maybe you want a little bit of smoke, that's all right, but too much and it'll smell a little funky. Keep in mind also that these get very hot. Use your button, use your temperature regulator. Only 15 to 20 seconds, maybe as much as 30 if using the battery. And of course, if you're not using the foil on this, remember to brush it off. And then if you'd like to clean it, Q-tip with a little bit of rubbing alcohol should do the trick. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you pick up your new AV heater from Mermade. It's a wonderful company, a wonderful new toy for all of us incense appreciators out there. I hope you have some fun.